I'm very excited to introduce our next speaker, Christy Tanner. Christy is the Executive Vice President and General Manager of TVGuide.com and TV Guide Mobile. Under her leadership, TVGuide.com has grown its monthly unique visitors to 24 million and seen more than 5 million downloads of TV Guide mobile apps. They've also continued to innovate with features such as watch lists and social power rankings. Christy is a remarkable person with great insight into the media space. I'd add that she's also a fantastic resource if you're looking for a great new TV show to get hooked on. Please join me in welcoming Christy Tanner.
Thanks, Sharon. Thanks, Mashable, and thanks, everybody, for coming today. I'm going to talk a little bit today about, number one, the evolution of one of the most well-known brands in America, TV Guide, how our incredible team of product developers, engineers, marketers, editors, and business development people at TV Guide has taken a brand that could have been headed toward oblivion at this point in time and turned it into a digital, mobile, and social powerhouse. Second, I'm also going to talk about some of the trends that we're seeing in TV, connected TV, social TV. This area is truly exploding. It's the most dynamic place to be in entertainment right now, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. And then third, I want to make this a little bit about you. So first off, I want to ask a few questions. How many of you define yourself as social media or marketing people? Great. How many of you are journalists? Excellent. Okay. And then next, I'm going to start off with a question for you. What's your favorite news show? Tweet me your answers at Christy Tanner. And I'd love to hear what everybody is talking about and what your favorite shows are. And in fact, I cheated and I asked this question via a survey that Mashable sent out before the conference, so I already know what some of your favorite shows are. But I want to hear from the rest of you. So in the meantime, I'll tell you what my favorite new show of this season is. Homeland on Showtime. Great cast, great producers, the people who brought us 24. Really exciting show. And really, really, really fun to watch. TVGuide.com users have fallen in love with a show on ABC called Revenge. That's their #1 favorite news show. I also happen to be hooked on it. Their #2 favorite show is called Person of Interest, starring Michael Emerson, who you may know from Lost. He no longer controls an island. He actually controls like the whole world and everybody's mind or something like that. And the #3 show is Terra Nova, dinosaurs, Spielberg, fun for the whole family. What more do you need to know? So what is Mashable Media Summit attendees' favorite new show, according to the survey that we took? Well, it was a tie between New Girl and Up All Night. Also, 2 shows that happen to be doing very well. So those of you who answered our survey already have great taste. But I want to hear from everybody else. And I'll give a prize to the person who tells me the weirdest and most unique favorite news show, even if it's a show that's destined for cancellation. But let's talk now about how technology is changing entertainment. At TVGuide.com, we see 3 major trends emerging. #1, the second screen is truly a mass market experience at this point. #2, there are more ways to watch than ever. And #3, there are more great shows than ever. And that may not seem like a technology change, but it is, and I'll tell you why. So let's start with the second screen as a mass market experience. 70% of tablet owners, smartphone owners, and TVGuide.com users are using their second screen devices while they're watching television. This is a massive change in behavior and something that we've been working on at TVGuide.com for many years now. New apps are launching every day, and these are just a few of them. I could not fit all the logos onto one screen. And in fact, this is the spreadsheet that I keep for myself of all of the different television apps that are launching, and it is literally at least one a week and more like 2 or 3 per week. There are show-specific apps, there are network-specific apps, there are social TV apps, there are white label companies springing up to create apps for everybody. And while these are all great developments and there are huge innovations happening and there's a lot of experimentation, nobody's really emerged as the winner yet, which is why at TVGuide.com we're continuing to work on our second screen experience and enhancing the entertainment experience for all of our users. This is a timeline that shows our traffic growth since 2006 to the present, along with the products that we have launched during that time. So we did a major relaunch in 2006 that allowed users to talk about any television show in real time, tied to every single episode of every single show. In 2007, we launched a video search engine. This was before Hulu was even a thing. Hulu was just launching. It had a fake name called Nuco at that time. And I would say that many people in the mass market watched their first online full episode at tvguide.com. We doubled down on editorial when everybody else was creating content farms, and when, frankly, some people in our upper management and finance departments were saying, couldn't we just replace the entertainment news with an AP feed? No, we didn't do that. We actually hired more editors, and we actually really care about getting the facts right, being fair, and being true to the TV Guide brand in our editorial department. And we also have created a team of editors who are, frankly, super social. They are very active and involved, and they have been for a long time. It's a part of their DNA in the same way that SEO is a part of their DNA at this point. We integrated Facebook and Twitter in 2009. Then we launched our first mobile app. We launched Check-In a year ago. And just this August, we launched something called the Watch List, which is the next generation of TV Guide. It is an immersive experience that will tell you when, where, and how to watch anything, anytime, anywhere. It's a work in progress, and I'll talk more about it later. But first, let's talk about our apps. 5 million downloads, and we're seeing 1.5 million monthly active users. So this is an app that people get and then use. We've seen a 40% increase in engagement in the past year. This is very exciting for us. 91% of our app users tell us they're using it at home. So they are sitting on their couches and in their lazy boy recliners and in their nice, comfy leather ottomans, and they are using tvguide.com apps. This is a tremendous opportunity for us that we are investing in significantly right now. Social has also exploded for us. Obviously, there is a surge in social TV activity, and we are capturing as much of it as we can. We've had 5 million check-ins. We don't offer badges and incentives, actually, as part of our check-in experience. When we launched it, we wanted to see what would happen, and we thought, well, if nobody checks in, then we'll add badges and incentives. And on the first day, we got 10,000 check-ins. So we thought, you know what, let's just keep this going as an organic experience. And it has proved to be a very accurate barometer of what is truly social in television. And our advertisers have supported it. We've had over 60 sponsorships of our social products in the past year. And that's an important point for us. We are a profitable business. We are mature, we are growing, and we have the revenues behind it to show for it. So the top checked-in news show of this season, and actually of all time on tvguide.com, is the debut episode of 2.5 Men featuring Ashton Kutcher. Everybody was wondering, would he fall on his face after Charlie Sheen left? What would happen to the show? And it turned out that this episode of this television show beat the Super Bowl for check-ins on tvguide.com. I love this because this shows that a half-hour comedy on CBS can be the most talked about show on television, an event that really brings people together. And I know that there's nowhere to go but up in this space right now. Why do people check in? Well, we see 3 different kind of areas of reasons why people check in. Number 1, the oh shit moments. So if Ashton Kutcher had fallen on his face, then that would have been that moment. It's when, oh my goodness, Bones and Booth had a baby. How did that happen? These 2 characters kissed. This character got killed, shockingly. Those are the moments that people watch TV and they're engaging with their social networks on. But also to keep my favorites on the air, a completely different reason. But people really feel that the networks are listening to them when they check in. They want the networks to know that they support a certain show, and they passionately hope that the network will not cancel their favorite show. This is one of the biggest fears of TV fans at the beginning of every TV season, that they will invest in a television show, that they're dying to know how it ends, and then it gets canceled. I, for instance, am still wanting to know how The Nine ended, which is this bank hostage thing a couple years ago that they canceled after 9 episodes, and then nobody ever knew what happened in the bank. So if anybody knows, let me know. And feeling connected, and I think that's what it all comes down to, is feeling connected. I don't know what you were doing the night that Osama bin Laden was killed, but I was at home watching television and holding my second screen device in my hand, and I started seeing on Twitter, oh my goodness, all this stuff about Osama bin Laden. So what did I do? I turned on my television, and I shared that experience with the rest of the world with my second screen device and my television. These are the things that, you know, when people say, oh, TV rots your brain, and oh, I don't really have a television, and I know there's probably some people in here who may claim not to have one, but you know what? It's important, and it does bring our society together for important moments and small moments, and so it really does run the gamut from Ashton Kutcher on 2.5 Men to Osama bin Laden. So ways to watch. This is the second trend that we see that is really, really taking off right now. Fans truly have 1 zillion ways to watch. Everybody has a different television profile. We have streaming devices. We have streaming services. We have on-demand. Lots of people obviously still want to get DVDs from Netflix or Redbox or Blockbuster. And then obviously there are new sources of content as well. How do you keep track of it all? It is challenging. Our users are telling us it feels like work. I don't want to miss anything. It's actually causing them some low-level anxiety that there's so much good stuff out there, they might actually miss something good. And 85% of them have told us that they want a personalized TV guide. So what are we doing about it? We actually are doing something about that.
Remember when TV was simple? You'd turn on the tube and bam, whatever happened to be on, well, that's what you watched. Now there are tons more options. You've got mobile devices, laptops, and flat screens, with websites and apps, all streaming show after show. So now, instead of just watching TV, you're DVRing this and missing that. You're paying for this, which is free on that. Streaming this, How did watching TV become so much work? Well, the people over at TVGuide.com figured out a way to make watching TV simple again. Introducing TVGuide.com's watch list. The watch list is organized based on what you want to watch, whether that's a favorite show, sports team, or celebrity. Here's how it works. Say your favorite team is the Topeka Torpedoes, or your favorite show is America's Top Dog Breeder. When you add them to your watch list, within seconds, the times, channels, websites, and services where you can watch your favorites are right there in front of you, right now. Whether it's live, online, on cable, or on demand, Watchlist lets you know. With the watch list, you won't miss a show you love, pay for something you can get for free, or DVR the wrong channel. No matter what you want to watch, or where you'll be watching it, Watchlist has you covered. You can even watch full episodes of your favorite shows on TVGuide.com and share your list with friends, all in one simple, easy-to-use interface. So work less, watch more. With your watch list at TVGuide.com, TV is finally simple again. Create your free watch list today.
I highly recommend Epiphio Studios, which created this video for us. They're great at taking something that would otherwise take you 10 minutes to explain and turning it into a 90-second video. And that's a skill that's hard to come by. So over 400,000 users have created watch lists since we launched it August 3rd. And this is very exciting and interesting for us. Not only are we able to tell them what time their favorite shows are on, where they can find them online, where they can find them on demand and on DVD. But we've integrated social features as well. So we allow them to see their friends' Facebook favorites. We let them see the official tweets of the shows and actors that they're following. And one of my favorite features is Celebrity Watch List. This is unique content that really other people could do it, but it comes best from TVGuide.com. Every time one of our editors interviews an actor, we ask them, well, what's on your personal watch list? And this is a question that actors love to answer because, frankly, they kind of do get sick of answering this question. Are Bones and Booth going to get married? What is wrong with Meredith? I mean, she's always driving Derek crazy. the actors don't want to answer those questions. And so when you say, well, what shows do you really watch? Bryan Cranston told us Family Guy is one of his favorite shows. And he said, although I cringe at times at the audacity of what is presented, I am secretly smiling through the attack on my conscience. He's a real person. He watches TV too, and he thinks about it. It's really great stuff. One thing that we're learning from Watchlist is that we don't know everything about how people consume television and how they plan it out. So we launched it August 3rd, well before the fall TV season debuted. And one of the interesting things from day one that we saw was that people were adding new shows that hadn't even debuted yet. So very quickly, New Girl went to the top of new shows. And as it played out in the season, it turned out that New Girl was a monster hit. And this list actually isn't even the most accurate list because 9 of the 10 top new shows added to people's watch lists have already been picked up. So our users really accurately predicted what would do well in the ratings this year. And in fact, Once Upon a Time was picked up late last night, and Pan Am, ABC ordered 5 more scripts, so it's looking good for that show. So I would love to see our users bat 1,000 in their picks on the watch list. So it's a work in progress. We will be adding new sources of data, but what we want to make it easy for people to do going forward is to have a one-stop shop for planning your entertainment. So if you have a Netflix account, an Amazon account, an iTunes account, and you have a streaming Blu-ray player and a Roku and a Wii, there are 1,000 ways that you're probably already paying for the first season of Breaking Bad. You really only want to go to one place, and that's going to be TVGuide.com's watch list. Social Power Rankings is another great new feature that we just launched this fall that is allowing us to aggregate all of the social activity going on about TV on our site. So it's comments, it's additions to watch lists, it's check-ins, and we're highlighting what users are buzzing about. But the thing that makes this feature a little bit different from some of the other things that are out there right now is that it's curated by our editors. So our editors are going through the comments that they're seeing, and they're picking out users' comments that are the funniest and most interesting and most insightful. And this is kind of crazy because I put this deck together a few weeks ago, and I picked an old screenshot where Keeping Up with the Kardashians was the top show, and I don't know if you can read the quote, but it says, this is from weeks and weeks and weeks ago. It says, next season will be the divorce. I bet her mother already selected the divorce attorney. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. They picked the top 10 new shows, and they predict, who would have thought Kim Kardashian would get a divorce? Oh my goodness. Wow. I mean, really, everyone thought it would last forever. So, but TVGuide.com users are smart. They also know from watching tons of episodes of Law & Order that it's usually the husband or wife that did it. That's also like always a given. Great shows, more than ever. I feel like this about television. There's more TV than I possibly can find time to watch. I can't wait for 20 years to go by so I can retire and watch all the TV shows that I'm not getting to watch right now. And our fans love it too. They say 52% say it's better to be a TV fan now more than ever before. Who has that kind of options? Obama's not getting this kind of rating. The economy's not getting this kind of rating, but TV is. How is that possible? Because it's great. This season is better than last year, say 36% of people. Well, is the economy better than last year according to 36% of people? No, but TV is. This gives us hope. Thank you, television. And how are fans demonstrating their love for TV? They're watching more of it. So I love this statistic because every year we ask people, well, how many hours of TV do you watch? And we split it into like increments of 5 hours, 10 or more, 20 or more, 30 or more. We stop at 30 or more. And I think we're going to have to raise that bar next year because this year, 32% of our users told us they are watching 30 or more hours of television a week. How is that possible? Well, streaming, on demand, DVRs make that possible. You can now compress 5 hours of television into 3. And fans love that, and they're doing it, and they're figuring out how to watch more television than ever before. They're very, very clever. 93% of them are watching live TV. So despite the rise in on-demand and streaming and DVRs, they still watch live TV. And they tend to do it for their favorite shows because if they don't, their friends will spoil the ending for them on social media, and this is true. 20% of our users told us they watch live TV to avoid spoilers from their friends. 55% are also watching online. 27% are planning to buy a tablet in the next year. This is great news for those of us who are working on second screen experiences. 19% are willing to pay more for content. They gotta have it, they're gonna pay for it. So, as a reminder, there are 3 trends that we see, and I would expect that a year from now we'll still be talking about these same trends, but I'm excited to see the innovations and experimentation that are happening in this space right now. It's a great time to be a part of the entertainment industry. But let's get to the central question. How has TV made fans smarter? Well, I can only speak for myself. When I was in grade school, I would finish all my homework in study hall during the day so I could get home and watch more television and have more free time, which is why I am now one of the world's foremost experts on happy days. So ask me any question later. You can find me backstage. My favorite episode is a tie between the one where Richie catches his dad at a burlesque show or anything with Leather Tuscadero. But I would say that TV fans are all like Doctor Who, and I'm going to go back to a previous point that I made. They're the smartest character that's ever been on television. It's Doctor Who. It doesn't matter who plays him. He's like the smartest character ever to appear on television. I know you guys love him, right? Raise your hand if you love him. I know you do. Yes, I know. I could tell. So they bend time to their will. They compress time. They were watching more television than ever, just like Doctor Who. So how has TV made you smarter? Let me know. I can't wait to hear about it. Childhood anecdotes like the embarrassing one that I just told are most welcome. And now I want to talk a little bit about how TV has made TVGuide.com smarter, just to bring it full circle. Our users have forced us to become smarter. They forced us to change, and they've forced us to stay a little bit ahead of the market every time. When we launched our online video guide, watching full episodes wasn't such a big deal. People weren't watching as many hours as they are now. But we built it, and we were ready for them when they were there, and they were ready to watch. And it's the same with check-in, and it's the same with watch list. These are things that we expect to grow over time, and we try to launch them a little bit early, a little bit ahead of the market so we can learn, because we'll be the first to admit, as we learned from the launch of this watch list, we don't know everything about our users. Their behavior is changing so rapidly that it's taking a lot of our time and effort to understand them and their changing needs. But what's rewarding about this is that we get a lot of feedback from our users. And somebody sent us this about the watch list. I was wondering how to keep track of all the new shows. You solved my problem. That happens, and it's real, and it's very nice and rewarding. And what I would say for everybody in the room who's a journalist or who's a part of media is that there is a challenge for media and journalism right now. I started my career as a reporter in a local market. I worked for the Memphis Commercial Appeal. I covered city council meetings. I covered trials. I went and looked at the police logs every weekend, and I went to murder sites, and I got to interview a lot of really fascinating people in my job as a general assignment reporter. And so I have a deep love of journalism and the media business. And I have a lot of friends who are journalists who are kind of down in the dumps about what the prospects for journalism and media and the business model. And there's a lot of hand-wringing going on about it right now. But I honestly think there's a huge opportunity here. And the best case study we have is TVGuide.com. Look what technology did for TV Guide. It has created an entirely new business for us, entirely new markets that we never would have conceived of a decade ago. And the same is true for media and journalism, I think. I think there will always be new problems. And some of them may be mundane, like keeping track of your TV shows. I'm not going to pretend like we're doing super great investigative journalism that's going to win anybody a Pulitzer at TV Guide, but it is important to people, and we do try to be fair, and we do try to get the facts right. And that's hard. That's hard work every day, and if you're a journalist, you know that. But I think everybody can take it a step further, and that's the challenge. It's not really enough just to be a social journalist or to be digital or to break news anymore. You have to really solve problems and be useful and be incredibly useful. And these things are old and mundane. The Chicago crime mashup, it's old. Someone did this years ago. Why is every local media outlet not doing this? They're not, and it's so easy. There's a garbage app in Vancouver that tells you when and how to recycle. Maybe it seems a little dull and boring, but it's incredibly useful, and it's the kind of thing that would make your users very, very loyal, and potentially something people are willing to pay for that can fund investigative journalism that will win prizes, which is, I know, what a lot of people want to do. So I guess from my perspective, I've been a journalist. I've done pretty much every type of man-on-the-street story that you could do. And I've worked for TVGuide.com, which is really one of the most fun things that you can do. And I'm really excited about the possibilities for media and journalism, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen as everybody discovers that technology can radically transform your business no matter what it is, whether it's TVGuide.com or a local newspaper or a local TV station. So I hope we have some time for questions. There's 2 microphones here. Thank you to Mashable for having me come. I hope you're going to ask a question and not go to the men's room.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Hi, Chrissy. I'm Steve Rubel with Edelman. So what you and Sports Illustrated talked about was innovation. And I think some of the greatest innovation in digital overall is happening in the media. How do you bridge the haves, if you will, the technology haves, the ones who are the early adopter and becoming the mainstream adopter with the have-nots, or the ones that are not as, and I don't necessarily mean financially, but I mean like in terms of their willingness to engage in these simultaneous screen experiences at the same time. So you have say a 50 and up crowd, 45 and up crowd, and then you have a 45 and under crowd. And so how do you reconcile the investment and where you bring them along?
Well, I guess one of the things I'm seeing is that it's not an age-based phenomenon. And at TVGuide.com, about 50% of our audience is under age 35 and 50% is over age 35. And we see people from all age ranges and what would seem to be all levels of income using our apps. So I think you might be surprised to find what people are spending their money on. You can buy a connected TV that's not that expensive at Walmart right now. And a lot of people are doing that. But one of the issues with it for the life cycles of televisions is that they last a long time. So that's why if a lot of people have upgraded to an HD TV, they might not be getting a 3D TV anytime soon. But I would say in order to bridge the gap, what we've done is just put the product in front of people. So when we launched our online video guide with full episodes a few years ago, most people didn't even really realize that you could watch full episodes online for free. And we advertised it. So I think marketing works, and I think creating the product and believing in it and putting it in front of people and making it easy to use is one way to bridge that gap.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hi. My question is, did you find that in recent years your content team has expanded a lot, and do you have a lot of editorial people doing how cross genre are they? Do they do tech and editorial at the same time?
Well, it's funny. The breakdown of our team, and we have about 70 people working for TVGuide.com, and approximately 25 are on the editorial team, approximately 25 on our engineering and product development team, and then the rest break down with business development and sales and different functions. So Are editors technologists? Well, they certainly are much more technology savvy than they were when I was a reporter a few years ago. Everybody has to have certain skills, and if you can't get a fundamental level of comfort with it, then you're probably not going to do very well. But having said that, I do believe that if you want to stay in this business and you want to succeed and you want to be number one, you've got to invest some time in getting comfortable with technology.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions? Yeah, I talk loud.
Over 90% of the people are watching the whole show live, so they don't have someone tell them what happened. What about the people starting a quarter after the hour and skipping the commercials to DVR? How does that affect the advertising?
Well, it definitely affects the advertising, and what we found is obviously that a lot of people really, in the 90% or more, skip commercials. That's not a great thing for the television industry, but at the same time, we also found that 44% of people told us they don't mind ads because they like to hear about new products and services. So I think people may skip through a lot of ads, but they'll stop if there's something that they're interested in. And some people are finding online that people are willing to watch more commercials. Hi, I think this is the last question.
Thank you for the Vancouver shout-out, first of all.
I want a garbage app in New York City, so if we could figure out how to get that for me. Let's call Bloomberg, 311.
There you go. I wanted to drill into just one of the first stats that you talked about was 70% of people using their second screen device while watching television. Can you just drill into a bit more what you meant by that? Is that people who are sitting on a laptop and watching TV at the same time, or are you specifically?
It's actually, that stats, it's combined from a couple different sources, but 70% of tablet owners, 68% of smartphone owners, and 68% of TVGuide.com users say they are using either a tablet or a mobile device while they're watching television.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mashable.